Jiren. Jiren, also known by his moniker Jiren the Gray, is an inhabitant of the 11th universe, is the most powerful member of the Pride Troopers. He served as the main fighting antagonist in the Universe Survival Saga and as a major contestant in the Tournament of Power. An extraordinary powerful being, Jiren is considered to be one of the strongest mortals in all of the multiverse, outclassing even his universe's god of destruction. He is a quiet and honorable fighter, who believes in strength and justice. He previously did not trust anyone and never considered teamwork at all during battle, opting to fight enemies alone, and single-handedly almost always winning. Personality. Jiren was originally introduced as a calm, stoic warrior who can, at times, be confrontational and have a blunt disposition. Upon his arrival to the realm of nothingness, Jiren threatens Goku after mistaking him as a threat. Jiren often takes initiative against stronger threats that can cause greater harm to others. Jiren's leadership is incredible, enough to even give orders to his superior, Toppo. Jiren has displayed little personality on his own accord, a stark contrast to the other members of the Pride Troopers from his respective universe, all of whom are bombastic to the point of boorishness. What minimal personality he has displayed has shown an emulous personality. He will fight to crush the enemy, but doesn't partake in unnecessary cruelty. On both occasions, he used what he deemed enough force to dominate the enemy and render them unconsciousness or knocked from the arena. Jiren is defensively inquisitive when asking Goku of his intentions to become stronger, his responses normally leaving Jiren speechless. At the same time, he appears to have a warrior spirit, as he waited out Goku's Genki Dama until it was fully prepared, as he wanted to test Goku's trump card. He is also highly disciplined, as he does not even leave an opening when he finishes off an opponent, a weakness seen in most warriors. Due to his quiet and calm demeanor, Jiren often grunts in astonishment. Jiren, to those he respects, he honors by calling them warriors. Jiren has also shown himself to be a man of principles, in spite of his comrades. When Toppo sacrificed his ideals of justice for power and subsequently lost to Vegeta, Jiren was notably disgusted with the former, but praised the latter for defeating Toppo and attaining his strength without compromising who he was as a fighter and a person. Jiren smirked at this, the very few times he ever shows emotions. During his fight against Goku, who was beginning to master Ultra Instinct and beginning to give him a challenge, he genuinely smiled for the first time for having finally found a worthy opponent. Albeit, showing a deeper concern in the manga, Jiren has appeared to have an aloof and merciless reaction of the erasure of the fourth universe. In the manga, Jiren shows a sense of mutual respect towards Toppo, but will disregard them if they go against his principles, such as the elimination of life, just to survive. Jiren illustrated a nihilistic view on the potential of having his universe erased, if it was at the cost of destroying others. In the manga, Jiren is portrayed with far more individualism. As with the other Pride Troopers, he has a strong sense of justice, albeit it is far more subdued than their bombastic methods. Jiren, by Vermaud's admission, does not kill his enemies, due to this sense of justice. Having devoted his whole being to the ideal of justice, Jiren doesn't act on self-interest. He initially refused to even participate in the Tournament of Power, loathing the idea of protecting his own universe at the cost of multiple others. In spite of this, Jiren desires something, and this desire to grant his wish with the Super Dragon Balls did motivate him to enter the tournament, even at the cost of contradicting his own principles. During the Tournament of Power, it is revealed Jiren's motivation to get stronger is a result of losing his parents and losing to the person who killed his parents. As a result, he vowed to never lose again, and being pushed into a corner would cause him to be traumatized like before. After battling Goku, he overcame this trauma and is no longer afraid of losing and even enjoys fighting a powerful opponent that might even defeat him. Jiren also had a strong mistrust of others due to his comrades and friends abandoning him when they lost to the person who killed his parents. Since then, Jiren only relied on himself and never attempted to make friends again, always keeping his relationship with his Pride Trooper comrades professional. It wasn't until years later Jiren was inspired by Toppo to push through his limits and take another stand against Frieza, Lapis, and Goku that Jiren connected with anyone. After the Tournament of Power, he solidified his friendship with Toppo and presumably the rest of his Pride Trooper comrades. Appearance. Jiren is a large muscular extraterrestrial being, who appears with the unique characteristic of having gray skin and fully black-colored eyes. Jiren is bald and has a snub nose with rugged face with bulging eyebrows formations and a small chin. Being a Pride Trooper, Jiren wears a red and black jumpsuit, with white gloves and boots. Concept and creation. Jiren's name appears to come from the word rinji, which is the Japanese word for stove. Jiren was meant to have a more outspoken personality, according to Toei Animation. However, this idea was rejected by Akira Toriyama, who stated Jiren was a quiet individual with a tragic backstory. Jiren's planned personality was given to Top. though this original personality is later used for Jiren in Xenoverse 2. Jiren was originally set to debut in episode 78 and appeared in the initial preview. However, he was replaced by fellow Pride Trooper Top in the final version. He was also meant to fight Goku in episode 82, and the statement of him fighting Goku was accidentally kept in the episode synopsis. According to an interview, Jiren was designed by Akira Toriyama. He was originally conceived as a character who was talkative, as Toriyama's original draft lacked character traits for Jiren. However, when this was presented to Toriyama, he told them that Jiren was a character who did not speak much. After this, Toriyama sent them the backstory involving the death of Jiren's parents and martial arts master. Biography. Background. Universe Survival Arc. Hours before the start of the Tournament of Power, Jiren was training elsewhere in the 11th universe. Jiren arrives with his fellow Pride Troopers announced as the representatives of his respective universe. Jiren remains calm as Goku emerges to confront Toppo, challenging to a rematch. Jiren, bothered, instantly appears behind Son Goku, asking him bluntly to leave. While the Hakaishin were repairing the survival venue, they tossed large portions of debris onto the competitors. Jiren was able to dodge with a unique fluidity, avoiding each of incoming material. As the bout begins, Jiren goes on the attack alongside the Pride Troopers. Universe Survival Arc, Manga. In the manga, Jiren was on planet Toil dealing with the prisoners that broke out of the galaxy prison and started a riot. When the Pride Troopers were combating Choki, who was attacking planet BAS, Jiren suddenly arrives and defeats Choki instantly, capturing it by turning it into a capsule. Toppo tells Jiren they need to talk in the ship. However, Jiren states that they must ensure the safety of the civilians first. Once this is done, Toppo requests that Jiren enter the Tournament of Power. However, Jiren refuses, stating that he will not destroy other universes to protect his own. However, Vermout arrives and tells Jiren that if he wins the tournament he can use the prized Super Dragon Balls to grant his wish. Hearing this, Jiren agrees to participate on the condition that if anything happens in Universe 11 while they are away he can return immediately to help. Battles. Jiren vs. Kale. Jiren vs. Maji KO. Goku vs. Jiren. Goku vs. the Pride Troopers. 7th Universe vs. 11th Universe. Vegeta vs. Jiren. Goku and Vegeta vs. Jiren. 7th Universe vs. Jiren. Abilities. Jiren is the strongest mortal of the 11th universe, whose strength is on par with a Hakaishin's level. In combat skill, he's regarded as stronger than Vermout, and is rumored to be strong enough that even a Hakaishin can't defeat. From his performance in the Tournament of Power, veteran fighters view Jiren as being beyond imagination. Jiren is one of the, if not the absolute, most powerful mortal warriors in the multiverse. His might vastly surpasses that of Toppo, the second strongest mortal of Universe 11, and a Hakaishin candidate whose training can wield said power for additional might. Furthermore, he was the original choice to be the next Universe 11 Hakaishin, but turned it down. Power. Jiren is easily one of the most powerful mortal warriors in the multiverse, being recognized even as the most absolute so among them. While starting off weak as a child and through much of his adolescence, his arduous pursuit for power led him to become the strongest mortal warrior of Universe 11, being also said that since joining the Pride Troopers, Jiren had never lost a single battle. His might far surpasses Top, the second strongest mortal warrior of Universe 11 and a god of destruction candidate whose training can wield said power for additional might. Furthermore, he was the original choice to be the next Universe 11 destroyer, but turned it down. Despite possessing no godly ki, Jiren has already surpassed the domain of a god of destruction, since the destroyer of his universe, Belmod, cannot beat him in combat, making him famous in the other universes as the only mortal that gods of destruction cannot defeat. The sheer power his very presence gives off is monstrously overwhelming, able to affect vast distances and acting as a perfect barrier to all but the strongest of foes and their attacks. Likewise, his raw speed is even shown to exceed that of his ally Dispo, a warrior well renowned for his speed. Jiren was seen as unbeatable by his allies, which allowed his gods to watch the Tournament of Power and its looming danger for Universe 11 with virtually no concern for most of the event. In fact, the idea of someone facing him equally was considered absurd, as until his final fight against Goku in the tournament, Jiren had never encountered another mortal warrior who could press him, since he had surpassed Belmod. Overall, his multiversal class might is made all the more impressive by the fact that the near entirety of it was self-taught. In the anime, despite his overwhelming might, Jiren's fighting style is mostly defensive, as Jiren will calmly let his opponent show their hand, refusing to strike back until either required to or the opponent shows enough strength to compete against him, and even then uses no more strength than necessary. Offensively, his attack methods are basic but efficient, quickly decimating the foe with sheer force. Jiren has extremely advanced movement analysis, as when the gods of destruction opted to finish fixing the ring faster, Jiren did not bother to dodge the high-speed movement of Kat-Chin, as he quickly determined that they would not strike him whereas everyone else opted to dodge. In the manga, Whis noted that Jiren's potential is still immeasurable, showing a remarkable growth rate as the more he struggles, the more he adapts and grows. His power is notably immense, and it's been stated that Jiren possesses colossal ki. Using nothing but his ki to form a makeshift wall, Jiren's capable of blocking strong ki manipulation techniques. His ki lets him withstand physical attacks, allowing him to only get harmed when it is breached. As such, he is capable of effortlessly withstanding attacks from Goku in his Super Saiyan God transformation and Vegeta in his Super Saiyan Blue transformation. Against the 7th Universe Genki Dama, his willpower alone was enough to bounce it back, despite it being used by Goku in his 20-fold Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken form and it possessing the combined energy of the 7th Universe's strongest warriors. Physical abilities. He was only forced to fight seriously after Goku brought out the power of his Super Saiyan Blue transformation. Afterwards, he quickly proved himself superior to even that level of Super Saiyan power, forcing Goku to take on his Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken state. His speed is impressive, as he was able to take to Goku's back without the latter noticing, despite Goku being one of the strongest fighters in the 7th universe. Against Blue Kaioken, Jiren proved himself to be faster, even once Goku pushed his power to 20-fold, knocking the Saiyan out of the state within seconds. He is shown to be capable of flying through space without the aid of a spaceship. Intelligence. Jiren is an extremely skilled hand-to fighter and intuitive learner. As he was able to quickly adapt to seemingly any opponent, then defeat them in a mixture of skill and overwhelmingly power. He quickly deduced the mechanics of Hit's timeskip upon seeing it once, understood what Ultra Instinct Heat was, and systemically avoided elimination several times. Anime. After seeing Goku's Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken might, Top notes firmly that the Saiyan would have no chance against Jiren. Upon meeting Goku, Goku immediately became in awe at the might of Jiren's mere presence and was stupefied when Jiren instantly got behind Goku, unable to follow or react to this, despite looking right at him. During the Tournament of Power, Jiren scared Rabanra away by just looking at him. When Kale went on a rampage in her legendary Super Saiyan form, Jiren effortlessly knocked out and launched Kale away with a single power impact, while everyone else was completely overwhelmed by her power as even their strongest attacks barely even fazed her. Against Maji KO, the sheer force from Jiren's punch sent a shockwave that knocked the foe out of the arena without direct contact. Once Jiren began to get serious, he unleashed such intense ki that shook the entire Null Realm, a realm of infinite size. Beerus was shocked that one person could unleash that much energy. With no effort to defend, Jiren took no damage from Goku's attacks up to Super Saiyan 2 and blocked Super Saiyan God Goku's assault with a single finger. Once he began getting serious, he casually thrashed Goku even with his X20 Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken might. Even the usage of the Universe 7 Spirit Bomb barely made Jiren use both hands to hold it back and gradually wear Goku down before launching it back with a simple ki release. When Goku awoke Ultra Instinct Sign, only Jiren could follow the empowered foe. Even though Goku gradually started pushing Jiren back, finally overwhelming him and landing solid blows, he quickly emerged unfazed despite being rattled by the blows. Frieza, for all his self-confidence, noted that he wanted to avoid having to fight Jiren at all costs. Against Hit, Jiren's extreme power level diluted the effectiveness of the Master Assassin's timeskip to the point of having nearly no effect on him. While trapped in Hit's cage of time, Jiren could still move with significant effort despite being suspended in time. Vados and Shin states that Jiren's might transcends time itself. Jiren proceeded to break the technique and effortlessly pummeled and knocked Hit out of the arena. During the final confrontation against Team Universe 7, Jiren outclassed Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta individually while only fighting half-heartedly. At this point, Vegeta noted that Jiren was the strongest he had ever encountered. After mocking Vegeta's pride, Jiren was hit by his supercharged Final Flash, but quickly emerged unharmed and defeated him. Later against Goku, he proceeds to unleash a hint of his true power, firing off a regular punch with such power that the shockwaves he generated stunned Goku back into his base form. After Goku and Vegeta pushed their Super Saiyan Blue forms well past their limits, they both attacked Jiren together. While technically fighting together, they were in reality fighting individually, which actually worked to their advantage, as it threw Jiren off balance and began pressuring him. Despite this disadvantage, Jiren still remained unfazed by their assault. As Jiren continued to gradually show more of his true power, Goku and Vegeta's combined assaults had no effect on him, as he repelled Vegeta's final flash with a mere glare, effortlessly broke free from Goku's hold, and soon afterwards left both Saiyans winded while he remained completely relaxed. After Top was eliminated, Jiren finally unleashes his true power, at which point he was able to dominate Goku, Vegeta, and Android 17 simultaneously with minimal difficulty. Jiren was also able to easily overpower Golden Frieza, with nothing but a glare and 2 punches. When Goku reawakens Ultra Instinct sign, Jiren initially was incapable of seeing Goku move and or land a hit on him, followed by the foe calmly punching Jiren's stomach, which actually caused Jiren to reel in pain. Jiren was quick to recover and began fighting evenly with Goku before gradually gaining an advantage. As Goku became accustomed to the form thereby and gradually pressured Jiren, Jiren began to overwhelm the Saiyan with a hailstorm of invisible strikes. However, Goku was able to repel Jiren's attacks while counterattacking at the same time, heavily damaging Jiren in the process. Jiren attempts to finish the battle using his maximally charged power impact, but Goku finally masters Perfected Ultra Instinct to as easily contain and disperse it. Perfected Ultra Instinct Goku then deals humiliating punches, with Jiren being unable to register them. With Jiren's fears of losing fortified, his hidden potential was unlocked, causing him to break through previous limitations and unleashing his ultimate form, which caused a storm of power that set the entire arena ablaze. Jiren was now able to clash evenly with Perfected Ultra Instinct Goku, even gaining a slight advantage. Jiren possesses greater raw power than Perfected Ultra Instinct Goku in this state, able to overpower Goku's full power Kamehameha with his own fully charged power impact. However, once Jiren attempted to attack Team Universe 7 in the spectators' stands, Goku's fury erupted, raising his power further to decisively overwhelm Jiren with physically stronger and tactically superior strikes before finishing the fight with a climatic supreme Kamehameha that made the Pride Trooper admit defeat. Due to being severely injured and emotionally compromised from his battle with Goku, Jiren was unable to draw out his full power, thus allowing the exhausted Golden Frieza to match with him in battle. Even Frieza asserted that the trooper's overwhelming strength from earlier was gone. Jiren then survived being engulfed in a powerful attack from Android 17, but was even further weakened and fell to his knees. Upon hearing Top's words of encouragement, Jiren managed to stand back up, with his energy flaring to enormous levels, unleashing a post-ultimate form. When Goku arrived to aid them after Frieza reverted to final form, the trio was able to negate Jiren's attacks. Jiren then fights Goku and final form Frieza at the same time but is ultimately overwhelmed by a combined strike of both, resulting in a stalemate and a group elimination. Manga. Top tells Goku that going only by power level, Jiren is above Belmod. During the tournament, Jiren first faced Negrissi, and was able to knock him down with a single blow. He then proceeded to charge through Majikeo and Pansia, easily knocking them aside though not knocking Majikeo out. Seeing this, Goku noted that even as a Super Saiyan, he was not even on Jiren's radar. After Jiren easily defeats Hit using time skip, he easily repelled Goku perfected Super Saiyan Blue Assault, unfazed by a point-blank God Kamehameha and calmly blocked each of Goku's teleporting strikes in rapid succession. He then outfought Goku and Hit at the same time, completely indifferent throughout. As Hit challenged him alone with his time lag, while Jiren was slowed down, he took taking advantage of Hit's belief that he had the edge by allowing Hit to knock him back towards the edge of the arena before powering up somewhat and knocking Hit out of the arena with a single blow. When only Team Universes 7 and 11 remained, despite Goku intensifying his perfected blue power to initially pressure Jiren, the Pride Trooper quickly overwhelmed Goku. However, after taking to heart Rashi's example, Goku momentarily unlocked Ultra Instinct Sign, impressing Jiren from how effortlessly Goku dodged his assault. When Vegeta achieved Super Saiyan God SS Evolved, he actually managing to pressure Jiren thanks to his shocking new power. The Pride Trooper openly acknowledged the Saiyan Prince. However, as soon as Jiren understood Vegeta's level, he was able to instantly bring the price to his knees. Soon after he was attacked by the non-fully powered Golden Frieza, who briefly held his own against Jiren before being outmatched. Android 17 then self-destructed in an attempt to eliminate Jiren. However, Jiren took no damage from his attack. Upon seeing Goku reattain Ultra Instinct Sign, Jiren powers up even more. Initially, Ultra Instinct Sign Goku was able to hold his own against Jiren, evading most of his attacks. Once Jiren regained himself, he forced Goku on the defensive, ultimately forcing Goku to delve deeper into his newfound power and perfect it. Ultra Instinct Goku began overpowering Jiren, landing several critical blows on Jiren, though Jiren noted that Goku did not possess true strength and was simply exploiting openings. Upon taking on his full power, Jiren began to pressure Goku his stamina and raw tenacity, allowing him to gradually adjust to Goku's new abilities long enough for Goku's time limit in Ultra Instinct form to end. Even when battered and exhausted, he still showed tremendous energy, forcing Goku and Vegeta to team up, and upon achieving a further power-up remained somewhat unscathed by Goku's Kamehameha and Vegeta's Gamma Burst Flash. He was also able to catch and redirect Frieza's Death Ball while he was restrained by Goku. However, he was helpless when Golden Frieza tackled him, knocking Jiren, Goku, and Frieza all off the ring. If you want to support me, check out my Patreon at https://www.patreon.com/Kaioshin. I tend to polls that decide important plot stuff in my P at Trian. Many thanks to my awesome patrons. Ben Phillips.
If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.